Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with another battle report. This is my first game using Beastmen. Just kind of playtesting things, deciding what models I want to buy and what models I may already have that deserve to be painted or should not have the time invested in them. So a buddy of mine gave me a list that he has used, and I tweaked it a little bit based on some things I want to do. And here we have it. So my first several games especially, I'll be changing my list every game, just toying around with some things. So first off, it's Battle for the Pass, so we're playing Longwise, which isn't wonderful for an army without shooting and such, but not a huge deal. Here on the left, I've got a unit of 5 Raiders, and I brought them along because I wanted to see how I liked having another group of 5 Raiders ambush to take out war machines. And my gut feel is that 5 isn't going to be enough, but I'm not sure I want to invest the points in bigger units. So we're playing with it. We'll see. Let's say I've got a unit of 25 Gore, or scratch that, I've got a unit of 30 Gore, and in with that unit I have a General and a Battle Standard Bearer. Now the General is just real killy. He's got a 1-up rerollable armor save, but every time he makes a save he gets an extra attack, that many extra attacks. And then he has the Brass Cleaver so that he also gets an extra attack for every enemy model in base contact with him. And then he's pretty killy anyway, so kind of like that setup. Plus he's leadership 9, which is nice. And then I have the Battle Standard Bearer, he's just a war gore. He's got a 5-up armor and the 4-up ward. So not trying to make him killy, just trying to keep him alive. On the other side of the river, I've got Minotaurs. I think strategically Minotaurs have some really, really serious flaws, and I don't care. If I'm going to play Beastmen, I'm going to play Minotaurs. I just love them. So I've got 6 of them with Musician and Standard. I don't believe I have a champion. I've got 2 Tuscarora Chariots in front of them, and you can't really see them because of that monument. The Minotaurs originally were going to go on the left, and then I realized that that building on the left was going to be full of crossbows and not a good place for my Minotaurs to be. So it kind of got screwed up. So they're behind these non-marching chariots. Then I've got a unit of Bretonnian men-at-arms that have been pressed into service in lieu of Ungors. In the building, I've got 40 Bestigors with the flaming banner. I've got a Razor Gore on the far right. It's just a chariot base. And then here at the bottom, I have the Herdstone. I have a level 4 with Lore of Shadow and 2 level 1s with Lore of Beasts. So facing me, I've got, I believe he has 20 crossbows. I know that 15 of them can shoot, so that's 30 shots every turn in that building. I've got Harpies, unit of Witch Elves with the Cauldron of Blood Battle Standard Bearer behind him. Next to him, that unpainted unit is a bunch of warriors with a level 2 caster. I believe she has dark magic. There's another unit of warriors with another level 2 caster, and again, I think she has dark magic. I could be wrong, but I think so. Then he's got Blackguard with a Lord level character. I don't remember what he had, but I know that he doesn't have the reverse ward save. So then there's the Hydra and more Harpies. And then on the hill, he's got a couple bolt throwers up there. So just a couple angles from the battlefield. We go to Dark Elf turn 1. He really doesn't move. I like how he kept his Harpies back. There wasn't really anything in my zone that really needed them. And he's going to keep them back and use them to redirect later. I thought it was pretty smart. He did shoot at this Razor Gore and killed it, which I thought was kind of mean. So we go to Beast turn 1. And my Ungor unit on the right, they have a spell on them that reduces their movement. So there's only so far they can go. My Gore unit on the left really can only march to the water's edge, and since they can't march through that, they have to stop. My Chariots move up as far as they can, but they can't march at all. And my Bestigors come out of the house and can't move at all. So it really just an epic fail in terms of deployment, and I'm not worried about it. It's just, I'm a slow learner. You got to figure things out. But anyway, I move up. Yeah. In all honesty, so this is my first time playing Beast. My impression as I looked at this table was, I don't see how I can possibly match up. I really think that he's going to shoot at me and magic me, and by the time we get to combat, even if he's only marginally successful, he's just going to chop through me. So really kind of curious with this game. There's no pressure on either one of us. We're just having fun with it, but I am certainly curious as to how the Beast will hold up. So not a whole lot happening. I did get a buff spell on my Minotaurs. That little token means they have +1 strength and toughness. So I'm just trying to keep them alive because I know he's going to start shooting at them. So we go to Dark Elf turn 2. Movement, I don't think he moved at all, really. Not much, anyway. He's just kind of, forming a battle line, letting me come to him. He does shoot at me. With all the shooting, he puts a couple wounds on a chariot and I think 2, maybe 3 wounds on my gore. I could be wrong. I could be missing a rank there. I can't see from this angle, and I just don't know. He could have killed as many as 6 or 7 gore, and I just don't know. Oh, there's a better angle. Okay, so now I do know. He only killed 2 gore, so he's pretty much failing with his crossbow rolls. So Beastmen turn 2, again, we just move up. There's not a whole lot happening. First turns are pretty fast. Haunted Mansion is getting more kills than anything else on the board. My ambushing unit actually came on turn 2, which I thought was nice. And, really there's no way these guys are going to survive. He's just going to turn and shoot at them with his crossbows, with his bolt throwers. But the thing is, though, if he does, he's not shooting at anything more important. So I'm actually kind of okay with that. During Magic, I got the +1 strength and toughness on this unit because I know they're going to be taking a lot of shooting. And we go to Dark Elf turn 3. Again, he's not looking to get in combat, so no charges. His Harpies move up just to redirect a little bit. Just forming that battle line. So, yeah, he turns 1 around, shoots 6 shots at my Ungor Raiders, and misses them all. Didn't do a single wound. So he turned around with the other one and killed 4 out of 5. And I thought that was probably pretty fair. My guy did pass his panic test. I'm going to charge next turn. He doesn't have a prayer. But that was 1 turn that his bolt throwers did not shoot at my army. So I can't complain too much. With other shooting, he did put a wound on Minotaurs, and I think I'm okay with that. And we go to Beastmen turn 3, and we're finally in combat. Not nearly as much as I wanted to, though. Let's see, the Gore unit charged the Witch Elves. I was going to charge the Spear unit in front of the Cauldron of Blood, and then I thought I could take the Witch Elves, so I went ahead and decided to take the Chariot with me, and let's go get rid of them. And I wasn't thinking that they would be stubborn. I keep on forgetting that, and it would have been much better, I think, to hit the Warriors, beat them, overrun, hopefully get a charge into the Cauldron of Blood, and be out of, probably, I think, out of sight so that his unit couldn't flank charge me. But instead, even if I win this combat, I'm likely not going to break Stubborn 8 rerollable, and he's going to get an easy flank charge on me. So I would have done that differently if I was thinking clearly, but anyway, that's what I did. Here at the bottom, the Raiders charged those Harpies. At the top, the Chariot charged his Harpies and he fled, redirected into that unit of warriors that you see, the painted one. The Ungor were supposed to support him, but they failed their charge. The Minotaurs were charged the unpainted warriors and failed their charge. So, I mean, I don't think that was bad rolling. They were kind of long charges, but I was really hoping to get in there. And this one I'm really curious to see how Toughness 4 holds up against a whole bunch of Strength 3 attacks. I think the Cauldron of Blood, it gave them either a 5-up ward save or an extra attack. And if memory serves, I think he has a ward save on him. So, anyway, more pictures. Raider at the back of his line charges a bolt thrower. During the magic phase, I was able to do Pit of Shades on the Hydra and got that off, which takes a lot of pressure off the side of the board. Very happy with that. Primal Fury, I love. I absolutely love Primal Fury. So with Primal Fury, the Raiders beat the Harpies. So they never do rally. They run off the board, in case I forget to say that later. And Primal Fury here was awesome. You can see he killed, I think, 5 gore, and that's it. I mean, it was really Strength 4 or Toughness 4 against Strength 3 really helped. With the impact hit and with all the other things, I killed 13 Witch Elves, but of course I didn't break them. Unsupported Chariot, this is actually pretty funny. He did a ton of wounds on it, but or a ton of hits. Hard to wound it, and then I was able to make enough ward saves, so he's sitting there on 1 wound. Whatever. So we go to Dark Elf turn 4. He charges the warrior unit into the flank of my Chariot, which is in the same combat as my Gore and the Witch Elves. This was kind of weird because he actually couldn't make that wheel without the back of his unit hitting his other warrior unit. And I know sometimes in the rule book it says just nudge units apart. make it work, like maybe angle the units in combat so things will fit. And other times it says it's a failed charge if you can't fit. We didn't know, and we didn't really care for this game, so we said let's just play it like this, and then if anybody knows that rule, I'd like to know how it should be played, in a tournament setting or something. Otherwise, he didn't charge with his Blackguard. I was actually kind of surprised. No, I take that back. Yes, he did. He charged his Blackguard into the Minotaurs and failed the charge. And that had me sweating bullets a little bit, because that's not a good matchup for me. So yeah, the Minotaurs crapping their pants. So here's this one, and that's got me nervous. I think I'm going to do real well against the Witch Elves, but yeah, it's a charge, a banner, 3 ranks, a flank. That could spell some danger. Shooting takes a Minotaur out. It's just another view. More shooting takes another Minotaur out. Even with that, I'm okay. I'm not worried about losing a couple Minotaurs. There's still a lot of high strength attacks there. And this one turned out really weird, and I think we played this right, but if anybody disagrees, let me know. Basically, when the warriors came in, they did enough wounds to kill the chariot. And once they killed the chariot, they were out of combat. So they got those 4 wounds, or however many wounds were still on it, towards combat res, but they didn't get their charge, the flank, the banner, or the 3 ranks. So that means that I easily won combat, and I might have anyway, just because of all the wounds I did. Anyway, so I won combat. He only had 1 Witch Elf left. It failed a Stubborn 8 rerollable and ran away. And I decided not to pursue because she can only rally on double ones. And then what ended up happening, in case I forget later, is she fled on Dark Elf turn 5 and on Dark Elf turn 6, but never got off the table. So at the end of the game, he had full points of the Witch Elves. Anyway, I decided instead just to reform and face. Basically, I have the flank of his battle line, so I kind of like how that looks. And it was my turn next. So he decided he could have overran with his warriors into my gore, and then I still would have been able to combat reform to face him. But he decided just to not do that so that he could get more attacks this round. So I charge him. I charge him in the flank with my Minotaurs. The Bestigors charged his Blackguard and failed it. I must have messed up. You see how the Gore are behind my Bestigor? On his turn, I think he charged them with his Blackguard, and I fled, and then he tried to charge my Bestigor unit, and he failed his charge. That's what happened there. Or my Minotaurs, and then he failed his charge. So, anyway, so on my turn, those Ungor at the top right, they rally. This is a better picture of this combat. This one, there's no doubt in the world. I know I'm going to win this. I do, but I don't catch him, so he pops out the other side. He's easily going to rally. He's going to get full points for that unit. And one thing I hadn't considered is when the Minotaurs turned to face him, now the Blackguard can see the Minotaurs again, and the distance isn't that far. And now the Minotaurs are frenzied, so I can't choose to flee. That did not turn out the way I wanted it to. So on his turn, he charges a Blackguard into the Minotaurs, and they are toast. They are just absolutely going to be destroyed. Yeah, that's not what those guys were meant to do. Now this was really funny. He took all those crossbows and shot at the 5 raiders. The raiders, I moved past the building, and they were going to, on my turn, declare a charge against that Witch Elf to get her closer to the board so that if she failed to rally, she would have a better chance of getting off the board. So he shot them, killed all 5 of them, and this looks weird. This is on the far right of the table. My general's unit failed their panic test, fled through the Minotaur Blackguard combat, through the Harpies, and popped out. So I took a bunch of dangerous terrain tests, lost a few guys, and I'm now fleeing on the total opposite side of the table. I mean, just really, really, really unexpected. What that does is it makes next turn my Bestigors can't charge anybody because the Ungors are in their way. So after combat, he chopped the Minotaurs up completely. So I don't think I got any attacks back. I think they just chopped him up. So he reformed to face my Bestigors. You can see at the top his warrior unit rallied, and it looks like that. So Beastmen turn 5, I reform the upper 2 units to form a line. I bring my Ungor around, and so we just have this battle line. So if nothing else, if he charges me, I should be ready for it. Really curious how Bestigors will do against Blackguard. A little bit nervous about that. On my phase, I got -3 strength on these guys, so now I'm really not worried about him coming in. I really think he won't come in, and if he does, I'm going to tear him up. So I think. I get +1 strength and toughness on these 2 units, and so they're sitting at toughness 5. Pretty happy with that. So he charges on his turn, and then during his magic phase, he dispels that hex. And I always thought that if it was a hex, it was automatically till the next casting phase, but that's not true. This actually, it says remains in play, and I didn't realize that. So a very smart move on his part. This picture was actually taken after combat. So if you look on the right, the Harpies charged the flank of the Ungor. When all's said and done, we both stuck, and I reformed to face him. In the middle, he came in and killed a few Bestigor, but I killed 9 Blackguard. So I'm very, very confident that as that, if we have time to fight that enough, I'm going to win that combat. Having my guys buffed certainly didn't hurt. But I like Bestigors. I like Primal Fury. We go to Beastmen turn 6. Really, there's nothing to do. All my units are still locked in combat. My Gore unit with the General, the BSB is now dead. He died a long time ago. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But anyway, they charge a Warrior unit. Yeah, there we go. So at the end of combat, it looks like that. Close-ups. My General's unit lost a lot of Gore. Really surprised how many I lost there, but killed a bunch of his too. I won. He stuck around. And the Bestigor unit went to town, killed a bunch of Blackguard. He's down to the Standard Bearer, the Champion, and his Lord, who's sitting on 2 wounds. But I wasn't able to break him. Now, what was really interesting about this game is I felt that at the end we had finally gotten combat and started turning things around, and I killed a bunch of models, but I didn't kill units. And all the units that I broke in combat, with the exception of I killed a Hydra and a Harpy unit, but for the most part, he had full points. Everything was still there. And, I lost the Minotaur unit and the Razor Gore, and, so it actually was a victory for the Dark Elves. But who really cares? Whatever. It was a fun game. Really surprised with how the Beastmen did in combat. I was very, very happy. I've been butchered by Blackguards so many times that it was nice to see a unit stand toe-to-toe with them and take them to task. I'm very, very impressed with what Bestigors can do, especially in that horde formation when I had a few more guys and got even those extra attacks. Primal Fury. Now, I gave him the Flaming Banner. I think in the future I won't do that. I might try to give the Flaming Banner to something with a higher initiative for those weird situations when I might need to get somebody's regen away. But these guys, I might give them the +1 leadership banner, so they'll be leadership 9 on their Primal Fury, and I don't have to worry about them being near the General. And I think that's the way to go with them because they're re-rolling hits and then they're strength 6. Those guys are just awesome. So very happy with how the Herdstone worked out. 3 extra power dice every turn means that every turn I was getting several spells off. I felt like I had a lot of consistently getting the +1 strength and toughness buffs on my guys. So I think it was relatively poorly played by me, but still pretty happy with the possibilities of the Beastmen hold. So anyway, that's the game. Hope you enjoyed it.